Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming News. Today is the 3rd November of 2018. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for the evening. And today we're gonna talk about Diablo, or BlizzCon in general. So as you might know, BlizzCon is currently happening and there have already been a number of announcements. And one of them, a mobile game of Diablo, has sparked a lot of controversy. But before we get into Diablo, let's talk about other announcements made at this year's BlizzCon. Some of them will be very quick. So we have a new hero for Heroes of the Storms, which is actually very interesting because for the first time, it's a completely original hero. It's not a hero coming from any Blizzard's other IPs. It's going to be Orphea. We do not know much about her at this point, but if you're a HOTS fan, you should definitely be looking for that. Secondly, we know that Destiny 2 is now free to play on PC for the moment. So this will not be something that will be there forever. But if you go to your Battle.net client right now, you click install Destiny 2, you will get it forever for free. Though you will not get the Forsaken DLC, so you will not be able to participate in Endgame. But still, it's a free game. Go get it. Secondly, we now know the release date of World of Warcraft Classic. If you do not know what World of Warcraft Classic is, it's going to be Vanilla WoW. So if you're a fan of that or nostalgic for that, you should be looking forward to summer of 2019, as we now know is going to be releasing somewhere then. Then we have a new hero for Overwatch, Hero 29 Ashe. She's going to be the daughter of McCree. She's going to be another hit scan hero. She looks quite interesting. I don't know if I'm going to try her out. I haven't been playing much of Overwatch because, well, I don't know. I haven't just. One very exciting piece of news is Warcraft 3 Reforged, which essentially means it's a remaster of Warcraft 3. So if you're a Warcraft 3 fan, get ready for more and better graphics, a better UI, and 4K support, which means you're gonna get your favorite game in better graphics, and that's nothing to complain about. Then we have the new Hearthstone expansion, Rastikan's Rumble, which is a troll-themed expansion. I'm gonna talk about it more someday in the future, as Hearthstone is one of the few games I still play. In terms of games, we have a new co-op commander for StarCraft 2. It's going to be Zeratul. Not much we know about him, but if you're a StarCraft 2 player, yeah, that's kind of nice. And in terms of silly news, Lucios are indeed coming. We already talked about those on one of the gaming podcasts. There are a serial based on the character of Lucio, and man, I'm sad they're probably going to be coming only to America. But lastly, and the biggest news of this week, Diablo Immortal, the mobile version of Diablo, which has sparked quite a lot of controversy among die-hard Diablo fans. And you can guess, there are a lot of people who love Diablo. So what are they complaining about? That they didn't want a Diablo mobile game, and that they think it's just a clone of another game, a reskin essentially, and it's going to be pay to win, and that Blizzard has gone just full-on greed mode. It's now being overtaken by Activision, and, you know, all the typical stuff. And mostly, why the fuck aren't we getting Diablo 4? I gotta say, I don't understand it. You're getting a Diablo game. It's not the game you wanted, but for sure Diablo 4 is in the works. Blizzard would be dumb as heck if they wouldn't be developing Diablo 4, and I can guarantee, seriously, I'm willing to bet $100,000 on this. If Diablo 4 doesn't eventually come, if it doesn't come in the next 10 years, I'm gonna donate $100,000 to some charity. And I know that's a long time frame, but that's the thing with Blizzard. they don't rush their games. And from what we saw from them, they definitely are working on a Diablo 4. So would have you really been more happy if you didn't get any Diablo product? That just seems so ridiculous to me. It's a game that you can play on your phone when you're traveling or something. And the game isn't coming soon, we know that. There is a pre-registration option for those who are interested in this game, as am I. I actually think Diablo could be a good fit on nowadays on mobile phones. Mobile phones have gotten powerful enough to sustain good graphics, especially that are highly stylized, similar to how Diablo is. The controls, while certainly not ideal, can be worked around with, and it seems that Diablo is actually a game that fits that very well. Honestly, when we were working on Chibera and we were considering taking it to Android and to iOS, well, we were looking at it and I was saying, you know what? If we want to do this combat-like, it's going to feel like Diablo. You're going to have a very limited set of abilities because you cannot fit that many abilities onto your screen when you're on a phone. And we eventually decided that we do not want to go a mobile route, at least not for the moment, maybe in the future. But Diablo, seriously, it's such an ideal fit for a mobile game. And yes, it's going to be riddled with microtransactions. But on the other hand, it's very likely going to be free to play. So people will be able to enjoy the Diablo universe even though they may not have a gaming PC, even though they may not have a console. You need to remember, a lot of young people nowadays are mobile gamers. And it's a market that, if you're such a company as Blizzard, you need to tackle in one way or another. They started with Hearthstone, but nobody really complained about Hearthstone because it was on PC and it was on Android and iOS as well. Plus it was a card game, so nobody really cared. But diehard fans of Diablo are just pissed as fuck, and I don't understand them. Shouldn't you be happy you're going to get to play a Diablo game when you're traveling, when you're not at home, or when you don't have your laptop with you? I would be grateful for that. And yes, again, the game is going to be filled with microtransactions. But you don't have to buy those. Hopefully Blizzard realizes that including pay-to-win mechanics in Diablo Immortal will not be the way to go. Though I think there will be some ways to save time using some microtransactions, and people will be using those. But take a look at Fortnite. It hasn't really taken any pay-to-win mechanics, and it's making a shit ton of money, and it's also on mobile. Nobody complains. And eventually, I think we might see a port from mobile to PC, or you can use an emulator, and you can play on your computer. Yes, it will not be a Diablo 4, but Diablo 4 will come eventually. Just, I really don't get it. Plus, it seems like a good game so far as I've seen. It seems to have all the mechanics of Diablo we all know and love. It seems to even add some 3D combat to it, and honestly, I just think it's gonna be a good mobile game. Obviously, I could be wrong. And it could be shit. But that still doesn't say that Blizzard shouldn't make this game. It's their decision. And yes, you might be saying, oh, Blizzard has gone full on greed and they just want money now. Obviously, they want money. They're a company. They need money. They need money to make, for example, Diablo 4. So I just want to say this. Please don't berate Diablo Immortal. It might not be what you wanted from the Diablo franchise. It might not be something you're gonna play. It might be something you think is dumb. But it's certainly a product for this day and age. This is a day and age where especially young people play on their mobile phones primarily. And this gives them an introduction to the Diablo universe. Maybe then, once they played the mobile Diablo for months or even years, once Diablo 4 comes out, it will sell like crazy because it's going to be an IP these kids are already familiar with. They might not be familiar with Diablo 1, 2, or even 3 because it's going to be old by their standards. But introduce them to Diablo Immortal through their cell phones, they might get interested. I just don't see the downsides of this for the Diablo fan. There literally isn't a downside to this. If you don't like it, don't play it. Nobody's forcing you to play it. And you wouldn't get Diablo 4 either way this year. You would still have to wait the same amount of time as you would as if Diablo Immortal wasn't made. It's a game you're going to get in the Diablo universe on top of Diablo 4. Yes, you can say maybe if they didn't focus on Diablo Immortal, Diablo 4 could have gone in quicker. And perhaps to a degree, but the teams that are probably working on Diablo 4 and the ones that are working on Diablo Immortal will be very likely very different. And they will require very different skills, maybe apart from some artists. But I still think Diablo 4 is going to come in the next 2, maximum 3 years. Because people just are demanding it. And honestly, the diehard fans, the ones who are now, I'm leaving Diablo because they went mobile. They will come back for Diablo 4. Most of them will. There will be a minority of them who won't. And there will be even a group of people who play Diablo Immortal and then decide, I don't want to play Diablo anymore. But in the end, it will bring a lot more players to the Diablo franchise for Blizzard than if they didn't release it. That's just plainly the fact. And you have to deal with it. You have to understand that Blizzard is not there to only cater to their fans. And obviously, Blizzard has been making an immensely great job showing respect and love for the fans. There isn't a company who has a bigger fandom in the gaming world other than Blizzard. They managed to almost rise to cult-like status. And yes, they have pissed off a lot of their fans with Diablo Immortal. But in the end, I think it's just going to help their company as a whole. And if you are a gamer, I highly suggest you just come in with an open mind, give Diablo Immortal a try once it comes out, and if you don't like it, then voice your concerns. But be specific, say why you don't like it, instead of just saying, it's a mobile game, it's gonna suck. There are plenty of good mobile video games, and just because you grew up on a PC, don't be the old guy who's like, well, in my days, we played on a computer and not at a cell phone. Yes, and in the past, people used to ride horses and not cars. And even before they're used to walk. And even before they used to just walk on all fours and swing from one tree branch to another. Stuff changes. And the young generation, they use their cell phones. I'm a PC gamer. I do occasionally game on my cell phone, but usually I play shitter games or something that is specifically tailor-made to mobile. But I truly think that Diablo Immortal can be made into a great mobile game. And if it is, I'm going to give it an awesome review. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you disagree with me, give me a thumbs down. But also be sure to leave a comment explaining why you disagree with me. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for more gaming news. Tomorrow for the gaming podcast, where we will be discussing this in more detail for sure. See you guys later with more gaming content.